dreamer, inspired, empowered, believer, where dreams come alive and visions brought to life, building an empire for generations to come, discovering you in a whole new light, led into a purpose beyond you, beyond you, beyond you.
Thank you so much for tuning into Dialogue. I am so excited about today's episode because I have 4 fashionably fabulous women joining us to chat today. So these women are not only beautiful inside and out, but they are owning their journey in singleness, which is something that's a little new and different for us. So joining us to Dialogue, I have Mmii Ubani, Victoria Chapman, Elisabeth Kadesi, and Fey Odusoga. So ladies, thank you so much for joining us in Dialogue. It's so amazing. I think you guys look great. I mean, look at you. Look at you, Mmii. Look at you, Victoria. Y'all just look fabulous. I'm loving every bit of y'all's fashion energy. But you know, I want us to just dive right into it. One of the reasons why I wanted to have you ladies on this show is because you're owning your journey. You're all doing so many great things for the kingdom of God. But I think what's awesome is you all got to that point where you said, you know what, this is me. This is who I am, and I'm loving it. So I'd really like to start with you, Fey. Tell us a little bit about how you started owning your journey and owning you.
Well, for me, I think that I had experiences with life in general. So I pretty much dabbled in everything I think that the world has to offer. And when I saw that there was no satisfaction in that, you know, I've always known God, but, you know, I lived in a backsliding state of mind. And when I found Christ, I just found out that he was so fulfilling. So I said, Christ, I'm giving you all of me.
All of you.
All of me. And I did. And I just...
So by you giving yourself to God and you just giving everything to God, through that you birthed your blog, sincerelyfey.com,
Yes.
which is great. So you got to check it out. Sincerelyfey.com. Please go and read. And one thing I love about your blog is you actually get in deep. Like, you take us to your deepest, darkest, innermost places. Do you think that also had something with discovering who you are or owning your journey?
Oh, absolutely. I've always said revelation is the best teacher. I think that knowing who you are, and good and bad, helps you grow. You can't move forward if you can't admit to yourself your flaws and your weaknesses. And I think actually displaying them for the world to see. Some of them I was already healed before I posted, but others it really made me think, okay, if I'm going to tell everybody about this, I better be doing it myself.
Oh, absolutely. That is a very good point. So if you're sharing these things, this means you guys are living it. And I mean, I know we're all working on ourselves. We're all, you know, getting to that place of perfection, but I love the fact that you mentioned it. You blog about what you're living. So Elisabeth, I love you, Elisabeth. So tell us how you started owning you.
Okay, I think sincerely with me, it was really at a place where so many things happened in my life, and I was very insecure and broken. I mean, we could go into that detail, but that's too much. But I was just really insecure, and I think kind of like what you said, you were trying to get little things to kind of fill that void. I mean, I was broken. I think God was like, Liz, I got you here. You staying, you know what I mean? Like, you try to dabble in some other things, but it's like, it's still not filling that void. I'm so broken, God, you know? And I think, like we were sharing with one of the ladies, at that moment I was so insecure. I was comparing myself to other people, and I was comparing to other people's season, and I was like hating myself. I was hard on myself until I just really got to that point where I was like, okay, God, I'm going to trust you. I'm gonna dive in, like, and go into that dark place. Like, I couldn't be afraid of brokenness, basically.
Wow.
That's what it had to come to. Like, it was God, like, pushing me there. And I think when I got there, like, you have to, like, be vulnerable and let God speak to you. I think I wouldn't let God in. I wanted it my way, and I didn't understand what was going on, you know? So when I got to that dark place, and then God was just ministering to me and then telling me who I really am, you know?
Wow, that's so
and I
powerful.
think it got to that point where it wasn't, I think it kind of, mind you, we still struggle with, you know, insecurity and, like, comparing yourself here and there. But I think at that moment I was like, okay, this is who I am. And I have those scriptures where it's like, when I try to stray a little bit, you know, okay, remember what God told you. Go back to that journal. Remember what he said to you. So that's when I just started, you know. And I heard something from, what's her name? I don't want to call her name. I heard something from a woman.
Just to let all of you know, I am a huge Oprah fan, and everyone on this set knows it. So
right.
You can go ahead and say her name. You can say this Oprah quote. It was
an Oprah quote. Well, it was actually on OWN TV, but it was Yanla. I'm just going to say, she says, you got to start loving yourself. You got to get to a point where you own everything about yourself. If you're short, love yourself for being short. If you right now, if you're a little insecure, okay, it's okay. You know what I mean? If you're struggling, if you're not where you want to be, just own everything about yourself. Just everything that comes with it, and then it starts from there. So you're okay with not quite getting it together, or, man, I'm still dealing with unforgiveness. You know. Because we get hard on ourselves. On certain things, just like, I was like, okay, God, I'm cool with it. This is what it's going to be. I'm going to start from plan one, and we're going to work it out, you know? So when I just started owning everything about myself, my imperfections, you know, I'm skinny, I'm short, or whatever, you know, I don't got the job that I want, or I'm not where I want to be spiritually. I just started owning that, and it's okay. You know, if someone tells me, oh, Elisabeth, I'm doing this, or I'm getting married, I'm really at the point where I'm like, man, I want to throw you a party. Do you want me to throw you a bachelorette party? Because it's like, your journey is your journey, and my journey is mine, and I'm okay with where I am. So that's where I had to start, like, going through that scary place and letting God bring that light in there, and everything was okay from there.
I love the fact that you talked about journaling in the midst of everything you just said. Journaling and really understanding, okay, these are my goods and these are my bads. But you need to focus and pay more attention to your goods. But so many times, like, because we might have a negative mindset, we start thinking about all these negative things, like, oh, I think I'm fat, or oh, I think I'm short. And we focus on that instead of, okay, wait, this is what I actually do good. You know, this is how I can own myself. So I love the fact. So you got to write those things down. Pay attention to your goods. All right. So Victoria, ooh, I love your spirit. Tell us, you know, how did you really begin embracing and owning your journey?
I'd say that it was probably about maybe a year-ish ago. I kind of was at the point in life where I had come home from, or I was in this situation where I didn't really understand where I was at. Like, I was kept asking God, like, where have you put me, and why am I in this place? Why am I at this job? Why am I in this relationship? And I didn't really have answers to all of that. And so once all of that kind of crumbled, I realized that I did have a lot to offer to the world. And I guess one of the biggest things that I've always thought about myself was that I'm a victim of situations, or that I don't belong, or that I'm out of place generally, and no matter where it's at, if it's at a party, or in my family, or in a relationship, God will always try, or sorry, the enemy will always try to put that in my heart, that you just don't belong here. And so I had always struggled with that growing up, and then about last summer, I just started realizing that I did have a lot to offer. And one of the biggest ways that I did that was I took, like, a personality test, and I took a strengths test, and I kind of just started seeing, okay, God, what have you made me? And I kept asking God, and I would write these things down, asking God, okay, in these spots where I don't understand who I am, show me who I am, and bring that to light. And anyways, he's been revealing that to me ever since then, and it's been quite the journey, because sometimes I don't want to believe things about myself, but every time that I'm hesitant, God reminds me that that certain thing about me is beautiful, and that certain thing about me is perfect, because he made me that way. And so I think that's kind of how I started owning my journey, was just realizing that every single way he created me, like the way he made me, my outer beauty, my inner beauty, every way he made me is perfect and unique and special, and I offer something to the world that no one else does, you know.
Oh, I think that's good. Like, I think
a little teary-eyed.
Yeah, I did get a little teary-eyed because, you know, all of us have something so beautiful to offer the world. Like what Mmii, what you do, I can't do that. It's meant for you to do that. So you own it, and like you have to really own it. You got to own yourself and understanding who you are. Like both Victoria, you and Elisabeth, you mentioned something like who I am, owning this is who I am. This is who God made me to be. So I better embrace it. I got to walk the walk, talk the talk, and live it, live every bit of it. So, I mean, I love the fact that you two just said that, and that just gets me. Now, Mmii, okay, you know, last but definitely not least, I've spoken with you so many times and had lunch with you on numerous occasions, and I just want you to share with people how you really began to own your journey. Share that with us, please.
Definitely. Well, with me, I think it was a point where God had to just close some doors in my life. I'm, as you probably all are, a very ambitious woman. And with me, for me, I was always in the mindset where I hadn't made it until I had accomplished that goal. And I got to a place where I was working very hard towards this goal. I wanted to start a business, so I was just working very hard on that. And of course, I wanted God's hand to be in it. And I guess I would lie to myself and be like, yeah, this is a Christian-based business, when God really showed me that Mmii, like, no, like, don't slap a Christian sticker on it. So God really had to shut that door and really show me that though a business could be my future, or this goal could be my future, focus on me first, Mmii. So God really showed me that I need to wait on him. And that is really when I started to own my journey and realize that life isn't about accomplishing that goal. It's about living out your day-to-days, waking up every morning and just being you and doing what God has called you to do that day.
Yeah.
It's true.
Ooh. You know, and so little said, there was so much power in that. I need you to just say that one more time, please, because I want people to get it. So in life's please.
Well, life isn't about accomplishing that goal or that thing that you've hoped for your whole life. It's about living out your day-to-days.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, so now that we've talked about how you all started owning your journey, let's get to the next thing. All y'all single. And you love it. I think each one of y'all love it. I know, wait, Mmii, hold up. I kind of got that look like, oh, that was the look of I'm available, I'm single. No, just kidding, just kidding. Okay, so you're single, you're loving it, you're embracing it. I think with the conversations that I've had with each one of you, I can sincerely say that you ladies are not all about, I need to hurry up and get into a relationship. And I think that's beautiful. I think that's great, because there's so many single women out in this world who eat, think, breathe, and sleep relationships. And so I would love for you ladies to just kind of give us some tips on what helped you be very content in your singleness. Whoever wants to go first, because I know I see this as like a problem in our society. It really is. Everybody wants to be in a relationship. We can be very real about it. I mean, everyone's getting married, but I love the fact that you ladies are single. I mean, I think it's so beautiful, and you are loving who you are, absolutely loving who you are. So please share the tips. Share the tips.
We all looking at you.
Everybody's like, who's going?
Okay, well, I think that for me personally, first of all, understanding what marriage truly is. The Bible says that we are called to be a man's helpmeet. For me, that was a very big thing. You know, the husband that you choose, the person that you choose to marry, you all should have a common goal in Christ. You know, how are you benefiting to his ministry? You know, and for me, one of the biggest aspects was, okay, who do I want to really help, you know, because I'm not called to help everybody's ministry.
That's real.
You know
That's
what I
real.
mean?
Yeah.
And, you know, I think really understanding the purpose of marriage, and also being in relationships, and I've done it the wrong way, you know, but actually living with somebody when I was young, you know, let me know relationships are work. It's not, you don't wake up every single day and you know, oh my gosh, honey, I just love you. No. Some days I want to strangle you, you know what I mean? It's work, you know, and I think really knowing who you are, you know, it's a marriage, a husband is supposed to complement you, not complete you. And I know once I had to get to a point where I was whole myself. And then when I became whole myself, I kind of viewed marriage a little different. It was kind of like, oh, well, if it happens, it happens. You know, now I'm looking at it as a complementary factor versus I have to have this man. You know? I don't have to have this man.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be nice, but I don't have to have it.
Yeah.
You know, I have a life of my own, you know, but God, if you want to send that right man to me, then hey, hello.
And it seems like you're just very happy with his timing.
I am very happy with this timing.
You ain't trying to make it happen. You're not trying to find your Adam. Yes, that's good because you're enjoying life even without a man by your side, and I love it. I love that you are enjoying it. So, who else wants to give some tips on how they were? And look, we're looking at you, Elisabeth. You're next. Okay, so
I guess I'm next. Okay. Mind you, it's still hard. It is still hard just being single. But I think what really got to me is I never, kind of what you said, I was at a place where I was really broken. And I feel like I can sincerely say like I'm getting healed from it. And I never wanted to go into a relationship. God revealed to me a lot of things about validation. And I don't want, I was sensing a part of me with insecurity. I wanted validation. And then to me, I told myself, God, until I get completely whole from this, I can't get in a relationship. Because like she kind of said, I want to get in there. I want to, like when you think of marriage, even when you see your parents, or I see my sisters or other people's marriages, a successful marriage really starts by you getting in there like, I want to make you great.
yeah.
But if you already broken, you're going to go in there like, I want you to validate me. Like, I want you to give me love. I'm lonely. Like, I would like be hard on my mind. Like when I sense myself, oh, Liz, you lonely. You know, you can call that guy. You know what I'm saying? I was like, nah, Liz, validation. Like why are you lonely? What is it about you that's not pretty? What's the dark place in you that you're not dealing with? And then like, God would just be dealing with me like, okay, some days I feel insecure. Okay, go read about insecurity. Read about it. Like, what's the source of it? Don't try to cover it up with like some 5 minutes of permanent, you know, talk with some guy that's going to leave you empty after you're done. You know, like,
looks like we've all been there.
Yeah, like,
we've all been there.
So, I mean, I really prayed about it. I was like, I'm going to have a successful marriage, but it starts right now. What I'm doing right now is preparing me for that marriage right then, you know? So that means like being whole, like loving myself. So then when I get in there, I'm like, I want to make you great. You know what I mean? What's your ministry? What's your vision? You know what I mean? So you're getting in there, you're making them great. And hey, if the guy's called to lead, you can't be leading with a broken woman. You know what I'm saying? Something's going to be stuck.
Absolutely.
So I think that's what keeps it together, like knowing that, Liz, what's your motive behind being in a relationship? So
but until then, you're content.
Until then, I'm content, you know? So when it happens, I think it should be natural. Like, I don't want to be looking for it. I think it's just, you know, it should just happen naturally where it's God's timing and okay,
that's the way it's supposed to be anyway.
Yeah.
All right, so we need to hear from you. Tell me about your tips on just how you've become content in your singleness. What have you ladies done? And either one of you can speak on this.
Definitely. Well, I feel like in this day and age, we're always on social media. And people are just blasting engagement to relationship all on Facebook and Instagram. So it's me. Knowing myself, I had to get off of Instagram and Facebook for a time in my life just so I can recoup. It was a time where it was after I decided to give that part of my life to the Lord. Like, hey God, this is you. Like, on your timing, you're gonna bring me that guy. Yeah, so I feel like getting rid of Instagram and just going to the Bible and really finding in the Bible what God says about relationships. And there was this one scripture that I read that really spoke to me. It's in Songs of Solomon. I'm not sure where in Songs of Solomon, but it says, ladies of Jerusalem, do not awaken love before it's time. And that's real.
I hear that a lot.
Like, when I read that, I was like, okay, I'm not going to awaken love before it's time.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, that's real good. All right, Victoria, what about you?
That verse is good.
Well, I'm like fairly young, so I haven't been in too many relationships, but in my time, I've realized that I would rather be single than be in an unhealthy relationship. And so I guess I've seen that and been there. And so now looking back, I'm like, all right, I don't want to get into something if I'm not ready and if they're not ready. And so just kind of realizing that has helped a lot, and reminding myself of that when I see someone or I want to start something or I have that desire. Reminding myself of, you know, I'm not ready yet. And you don't have to be completely ready, but as long as you know, I still have things that I'd love to work on. I still have places I want to see before I get married, you know? And so just in this season, I've been traveling, I've been just seeing different things, I've been meeting different people, and not when you see a guy or when you meet a new guy, instead of thinking, oh, this could be my future husband. Instead of thinking that, just right off the bat, being like, oh, this is a great, you know, person, and just seeing them for who they are instead of seeing them as a potential this or that, you know? So I'm just learning to do that. But I think that helps a lot instead of just pinpointing someone. Just being like they are a man of Christ, you know, and just seeing them as that, you know? So part of the body.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I think what everyone just said, you know, basically, in order for you to really own your journey and your singleness, is you really just have to do you, not look for a man to complete you, but understand that you have to be whole yourself before you can even really have someone to complete you. No one completes you. You're whole with God, and He's just a complement. And then you, like you said, it's someone that you're going to be pouring into. And I love the fact that you said that, like, you're helping make someone else great, as well as that person doing the same thing for you. And then going out, seeing the world. And if you got to get off Instagram or Facebook or any form of social media, so that way you're not lusting after a relationship, then do it. I love it, ladies. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, so here's the other thing that I really wanted to get on. You ladies are all, like, fabulous when it comes to the fashion. I mean, just looking at y'all, I'm like, oh my God, I need someone to style me, and I would so choose one of you ladies in a heartbeat. But I want to know, I started looking at all of these women, godly women especially, and who are the great fashionistas when it comes to the godly women in the fashion scene. And I didn't find a lot, so I was like, man, we got to give some people some shout outs if there are any out there. So Elisabeth, who would you call your godly, fashionable woman with style, or a godly woman with style?
Okay. So it was kind of hard for me to find. When you told me that, I was like, let me do some, because of course we're so used to getting worldly icons for style. But I like that she's not really like known. Her name is, I think her name is Nicole. She has a blog, Nikki. I see a lot of like scriptures she puts on her posts, and another one's Carrie Job. I just like her because, I mean, she's got the big Houston Texan girl style. That's not really my style, but I love the way she kind of owns it. It's different, you know?
Okay.
It just goes with her personality. So shout out to her.
All right, Carrie Job. We got Carrie Job. Okay. All right, so Faye, tell us who you are about. Who you got as your godly woman with style?
I love fashion. I love fashion, all range of fashion. But the fashion I'm into now, I would say more of the sophisticated, professional look. Dr. Cynthia James. She is a Christian psychologist and a pastor. She's at the Potter's House right now. That woman is so fabulous. And for me, she's one of our seasoned women of God. But, you know, classics, they never die. You know? In order to know where you're going, you have to know where you're coming from. And a lot of fashion is recycled. And I can really appreciate her sense of fashion, her style. She's very elegant. She always has a nice string of pearls on.
Said it with passion.
Passion.
You can't buy class, you know.
No, honey.
But she's sure to wear it well. And Dr. Cynthia James, she wears it.
Dr. Cynthia James, you just got that shout out from Faye. Okay. All right, so Victoria, tell us, who is your godly woman with style?
I'd say Laura Lentz, who's Carl Lentz's wife. And Carl Lentz is a pastor of Hillsong, New York City. And she really owns the New York street style fashion really well, but without it being, you know, too much or over the top. She just really, I love her style. And I actually, like, sometimes mimic her style. Like, I'm watching her, I'm like, I really like that look. So yeah, she's great.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, what about you, Mmii?
Definitely. I would say Miss Taylor Madu, Robert Madu's wife.
Love her.
Yes. She has a blog, actually, www.taylormadu.com, and I just love her style. I would say it's sophisticated, edgy, and I love what she's doing because she, the wife of a pastor, and she is owning what she's wearing. She's more of, she's very stylish and very trendy, and doesn't really look like a typical, I would say, pastor's wife would look.
First lady.
Yeah, first lady would look. So I just love it. She's owning it. She's doing her. And she was recently pregnant, and she owned every day of that pregnancy.
She owned it.
She was real.
What's her name again?
Taylor Madu. Like, you have to go and follow her on Instagram because I see her pictures, and even on her website, everything she posts, and I'm like, wow, like this is like a white woman that got all kinds of style. Like, she's good. Like, it's like she has some white in her. She has some sister in her. She's just amazing. She's fabulous. So I actually have two godly women with style. One of them, everyone knows. Another one, she's like the up and coming, but her style is just so great. But the thing that I like about these two is they love African prints or the African wax. They use the Ankara. One of them was, God, I mean, she's just so fabulous. Sarah Jakes. Sarah Jakes, I mean, I think who Jay Boland, the stylist Jay Boland, he styles her. I mean, just fantastic. Anything that she puts on, you just be like, work it, honey, work it. The other one that I really liked was Vivian Chakotade.
Oh, yes.
I love Vivian Chakotade. She's great, amazing woman of God, but I just love her class. She's very classy, but she brings in a lot of color. She brings in the African prints and the maxi skirts. She's beautiful. She's amazing. She's gorgeous. So those are godly women with style. We'll definitely be giving more people shout outs in the future in upcoming episodes. So ladies, I do have a special gift for you. I am so happy that y'all are on the show today and love the fact that, again, you're owning your journey. So each one of you are going to get a gift. Aww. There you go. So sweet.
We're like passing it out.
All right.
Thank you, girl.
So sweet. All right, so I do want you to go ahead and open it because it has something to do with what we discussed earlier today.
Ooh.
So with these tops, it's owning your journey, and you are officially lovely, beautiful, fabulous women that know how to own your journey. All right. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Keep doing it. Keep embracing and owning your journeys. I love it. Keep being a source of encouragement to other people, and all of our subscribers. We just want to thank you so much for tuning in to our show today. We hope that all of you, if you are single, you are embracing your singleness, enjoying it, and owning your journey, truly understanding who you are in Christ. And also, if you are one of those fashionable single ladies, and even if you're not single, you can be a stylish, godly woman. Amen. And one of the things that we'll do is all of the information for these ladies for their blogs, so you can follow them and reach out to them if you want to get some fashion tips, as well as just be as well as them being a source of encouragement. I will post that on the bottom of the YouTube channel. So thank you so much for tuning in, and all of you have a wonderful, fantastic day.
Woo-hoo.